Now we're gonna discuss about the array of filtration. So we're gonna just take the same example from previous, and we haven't used this field so far, so I'm gonna just remove it anyway. And we will gonna just go through the same email number and also just remove this URL as well. So we're gonna just focus on these two. And instead of doing a filtration input one by one, we can put them in the array. We can take filter array, and here we will gonna pass the keys which are related to the names. So we have email and number. So let's go with the email. One key would be email, and then it will gonna accept the array again, and another key will be number. It is again gonna take array. Now inside the array we can parse three type of keys. One is filter, just giving you the structure so you can understand. Another one is options, and another one is flags. Flags, we will try to cover this flag, but it is not very important. So let's see if we got the scenario. We're gonna cover this. If you don't want to use more than one keys here, you can directly define the simple by default filter. So I will just gonna cut this from here, paste it here, and for the email we will simply gonna say filter validate email. We don't need the quotation here. So by default, if you don't have more than one option and flags and filter keys, you can simply write one filter key, which would be by default set. And for the number, we can again go here, copy this option, paste it here, and for filter, remove it, copy the filter from here, filter type you can call it, and flags you can come to W3 School again, reference filter, and you can look for the flag. Allow no flags, strip low, which means any ASCII characters less than 32, flags, query required. These are the important ones, but these are only for the URL. So if you want, we can add the URL as well. Let's add the URL so we can cover this as well. And here in the filter, we're just gonna copy this URL, validate URL. In option, we don't need this options. For flag, we will gonna come here, copy this, paste it here, comment this, and now here it should not be closing here, it should be closing over here. So anyway, I will remove all this, and this time we are looking for the function input array. Again, it will gonna ask whenever you are handling with filter input, because input is something that is coming from the user, so you have to define what type of input is coming, whether get, post, or server session cookie. So input, post as usual. And now here, instead of defining options, filter type, and the name, because it is the array, so function predefined thinking that it is the array coming from host and get, so it will gonna automatically capture whatever the current post request array or the get request array or the session or cookie, it will gonna automatically capture. So you don't have to define the name, and also you don't have to define the filter type because you are already added in the filter list. So all you have to do is to define the array which holding all the rules and filtration. So if you save here, come back, refresh here, line number 16 means line number 15 we have an error. Yep, flags are empty, so I'm gonna just remove it. Okay, yeah, because again we accidentally add the double round bracket. Now it should be okay. So number, let's say 17, email error, URL without the query string. Query string means get variables. Now as you can see, it is returning, but because it is not in a proper form, you are not able to read it. I'm gonna put it in a proper readable form so I can explain you better. Okay, So email, it is returning false because we did not provided the proper email. Number, it is also returning false, and URL also returning false because none of those were right. So for number, let's say 7. For email, let's say ABC. For URL, let's say HTTPS. But this time we will gonna provide the query string, which is get or s now. So if I submit now, you see email, yes, correct, it is returning the value. Number, correct, it is returning the value. URL, yeah, in fact it is also great. So this is how you do the array filtration. It is more clean, and you can set all this in the one function, and you are totally out of the hustle of adding the number, name, adding the filter type, and the array options, flags within a function. You can define it all in one array, and you can pass it here. So you can see how clean this is. These two lines, just compare these two lines and see how clean this first one with the array, and how confusing and messy this is with the simple input. So if you are validating more than one input, you can go with the filtration over here, which is nice and clean. So that's the purpose of array. We're gonna come in next video and learn next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.